The most effective way to remove someone from a group isn't to kick them out, it's to make them want to leave. You know, we think of social rejection as this big, loud event, right? A heated argument, a dramatic goodbye. But in a lot of high-pressure groups, it's quieter, way quieter. You actually become a ghost long before you're officially gone. It's this slow fade, where the volume on your presence just gets turned down and down until you feel like you're not even there anymore. So how does that happen? How does the whole vibe of a group just shift, seemingly overnight, without anyone saying a thing? Well, that's the core paradox of what we're calling social exile. It's the moment your own self-respect becomes the very tool they use to push you out the door. It's a system that gets what it wants without ever having to take the blame. Okay, let's really dig into how this works. Here's how we're gonna break this down. First, we're gonna look at the invisible architecture, just to give this confusing feeling a name. Then, we'll get into the mechanics of removal, the actual playbook. After that, we'll explore the psychology of silence, why it's so powerful. And finally, we'll talk about developing sovereignty, which is all about getting your own clear read on what's really happening. All right, part 1, the invisible architecture. You know, the first step to getting out of that feeling of confusion, that social paralysis, is just seeing the structure behind it. When we can give a name to this passive displacement, we can start to analyze it instead of just being hurt by it. The technical term for what's happening here is incremental ostracism. See, it's not one big event. It's more like a death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's this gradual, unspoken, and this is key, deniable process of pushing someone to the edges. And what's wild is that this kind of thing thrives in high-performance cultures, like corporate teams, exclusive friend groups, you name it. Basically, any group where fitting in is super important can accidentally create the perfect conditions for this to happen. So how do they do it? Well, one of the main tools is something called social information throttling. This is the absolute core of the mechanism. Think about it. Real belonging isn't about the big meetings. It's about the little things, right? The inside jokes, the quick updates, the gossip, the side conversations about the weekend. Throttling is when that stream of information gets systematically cut off from you. The chat stops when you walk up. The joke isn't explained. And just like that, active inclusion gets replaced with passive exclusion.
And if you're on the receiving end of this, it is so disorienting. You're basically trapped in this internal tug of war. On one hand, you've got the isolation loop, where your brain starts turning on itself. You think, am I just imagining this? Am I being paranoid? But then, at the very same time, you're feeling what's called relational vertigo, that deep gut feeling that the ground is shifting under your feet, but you have zero proof, nothing solid to point to. It's enough to make you question your own sanity.
And all of this leads to what we can call the evaporation effect. People who've been through this say that eventually the information just stops. You find out about the team lunch from an Instagram post. You walk past a meeting room and see your team in there, a meeting you didn't even know was happening. It's not like there was a memo saying, exclude this person. It's way more subtle. The group has just been conditioned to act like you're already gone, and you end up feeling like a complete intruder in your own life. So that brings us to our second section, the mechanics of removal. Now that we've kind of named the invisible system, let's look at the actual blueprint. How is someone's departure manufactured, step by step, without ever having a direct confrontation? Well, there's a pretty clear 3-step pattern that emerges. It starts with the information throttle, which we just covered. Then it ramps up to something called affective unresponsiveness. And the final stage, the whole point of the exercise, is the forced self-exile. Let's break down how it builds. So step 1, the information throttle, is the foundation. Like we said, the group starts gatekeeping that daily context. And the real kicker here is how alienated it makes you feel. I mean, you can be physically in the room, at the table, but feel completely out of the loop because you're missing all the context. It really makes you feel like a ghost, just watching a world you're no longer a part of. Then things escalate to step 2, affective unresponsiveness. This is when your contributions, your ideas, your jokes are met with nothing, a social void. It's that blank stare when you make a point. It's the polite nod that means nothing. It's the I'll get back to you that never comes. This isn't aggressive, it's just neutral. It's a way of socially neutralizing you, sending this powerful unspoken message, you are not valued here, we are not listening on your frequency anymore. And all of this is designed to lead to the final step, the forced self-exile. And here's the trap. Our brains are wired to experience social rejection in the same way we experience physical pain. So staying in that environment day after day becomes genuinely psychologically painful. The cost is just too high. And so, to protect yourself, you start to pull back. You skip that optional event. You leave early. You choose to leave. And right there, the group gets exactly what it wanted. Removal without guilt. Because hey, it was your choice, right? And the damage from this doesn't just go away. It's a phenomenon called identity erosion. Your confidence, your belief in your own social skills, it just gets chipped away. Why? Because your brain sees belonging as a fundamental reward. And when that reward is taken away, without any explanation, your brain searches for a reason. And with no other reason available, it often lands on, well, the problem must be me. So this isn't just about losing a group of friends. It's about losing faith in your own ability to connect. Okay, so this brings us to part 3, the psychology of silence. We've seen how it's done, but the really big question is why? Why is this silent, passive-aggressive method so unbelievably effective? What's going on in our heads, both for the group and for the target, that lets this whole dynamic play out? It works because you have two very powerful, very different motivations clashing. On one side, the group wants what's called a zero-conflict disposal. They want you gone, but they don't want the drama or the guilt of actually telling you to leave, so they make the environment unbearable. And on the other side, you've got the target's vulnerability, our deep biological need to belong. We are wired for attachment, and that can make us, without even realizing it, value just staying in the group way more than being respected by it. So what about everybody else in the group? The people who see this happening but don't say anything? Well, that can often be explained by the bystander reflex. For the other members, staying quiet is a survival move. Seeing someone else get pushed out sends a very clear message: don't rock the boat. Going along with it ensures their own safety in the group. It's not always malicious. A lot of the time, it's just a subconscious act of self-preservation. And this quote just perfectly captures the psychological shift that happens inside the target's mind. Normally, in a healthy group, you're constantly checking in with yourself. Do I like it here? Do I respect these people? But under the pressure of this slow-motion ostracism, the script completely flips. You stop evaluating them, and you start interrogating yourself. The question isn't, do I want to be here anymore? It's, what did I do wrong? All right, so we've looked at the architecture, the mechanics, the psychology. So now for our final section, developing sovereignty. And this isn't about how to fight back or how to change their minds. It's about how you can reclaim your own clear read on reality and get out of that state of paralysis. So the first tool for this is something called the Reciprocity Delta Audit. This is all about moving from that vague, confusing feeling to looking at hard data. You just privately ask yourself some simple, honest questions. Okay, was this missed invite a one-time thing, or is this part of a pattern? In conversations, am I actually contributing, or am I a ghost? Is this lack of invitation consistent? Am I the one initiating 100% of the contact? See, this isn't about blame. It's just about recognizing the reality of the situation. Answering those questions helps you develop what we're calling relational sovereignty. And here's the key. Sovereignty is just the awareness to observe the silence, to notice the unresponsiveness, without feeling that desperate need to fix it or to fix yourself. It's that huge realization that your awkwardness isn't a personality flaw. It's a perfectly normal response to a manufactured, awkward environment. Your discomfort is a sign that something is wrong with the room, not with you. And this leads to the core mantra you can adopt. It's not angry, it's not bitter, it's just a simple statement of fact. I don't have to stay in a room where I'm not reflected. It means you accept the reality. They're not seeing you, they're not hearing you. And just accepting that truth is the single most important step to breaking that cycle of self-blame and taking back your power. It's the moment you stop asking them if you belong. So let's wrap this all up. What is the big takeaway here? After understanding all these mechanics of social exile, what's the one principle we should hold on to? It's a simple but really powerful lesson about where our sense of value actually comes from. And it really just comes down to this. If you have to fight for a seat at the table is already broken. Real belonging isn't something you have to audition for or struggle to earn. It's offered freely. It's reciprocal. The second you truly internalize that your worth is not up for a group vote, this entire dynamic loses its power over you. You're free to just get up, walk away, and find a better table.